It's almost time for us to go to Disneyland. We're down to 3 days, and I can't wait. We haven't just been planning this trip for a week. We have literally been planning and preparing for this trip for months. We've been planning this trip for months, literally since the end of last year, the very beginning of this year. So we're talking about 9 months of preparation or so to get ready to go to Disneyland for a week. It's our first time back in 15 years, and we wanted to make sure we were ready. Now, if you hear my dogs and cat running around, well, hey, they're playing and excited too, but for a different reason. They don't know I'm going to be gone for a few days. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a look into some of the preparation and some of the different things that I do to get ready. Of course, months ago, we started looking at the hotels and looking at the plane flights and trying to find the best deals. We got a hotel that's right across the street, and working with Alex at T-Chess Media. Thank you, Alex. He is the one who covered the costs on the hotel and booked it for us. We kind of let him know what we wanted and did some shopping around with him. And then once we narrowed it down, he was the one who actually booked that. For my plane tickets, we were comparing our flights and the flights that we had from Florida. We've got 2 friends coming from Florida. We, of course, live semi-near Springfield, Missouri, which is a little dinky airport and expensive airline tickets generally. So trying to figure out schedules where the 2 of us could fly in and land approximately together and at the same airport on the same airline so we could find each other easily. It's one of the reasons that we went to LAX instead of going to a couple of the other airports that are nearby, because it was much easier to coordinate. And it actually ended up much, much cheaper than if we had flown into one of the other airports that were there. It took me over a week just to kind of get an idea of what flights were going to work, just constantly playing with different flight things. I've got frequent flyers through Delta, so that was kind of who I was favoring. But I did use a couple different travel aggregate sites like Cheap Tickets and Travelocity and a couple of others that people are used to, just trying to shop around for all sorts of different tickets to see what was out there and what could work best for all of us. And it ended up being Delta. We got our tickets early, and in fact, I've actually got my real tickets. This is actually a gift given to me by Laurel, who's going on the trip with us. It's a nice little notebook. I can write down different notes and stuff there. I'm probably actually going to use this for autographs. But what is really nice with this little deal that was at Disney was it has these wonderful little pockets. And so actually right inside of this pocket, I have print off confirmations of our park tickets. And then I've actually got our Disneyland park tickets right there, the paper copies. I'm actually going to come back and talk about those some more, along with the thank you notes that we take. Yes, I do take these with me. I will be handing those to cast members that bless us, and so I've got a little stock of those. I'll probably print off some more here in the next couple days as well. And then other things I might need, I can also put into this. So this goes into the parks with me as a nice fail-safe for everything. Then, of course, it was also booking the transportation from the airport to the hotel, shopping around, comparing the various different ways, everything from renting a limo to Uber to Lyft to the shuttle services to taxi services to the rail lines, and trying to make sure that I had taken all of these things into account. I actually ended up with a shuttle van that's going to cost the same amount as what an Uber or a Lyft would cost on their best deals for all 5 of us. That actually worked out really well, especially since Uber and Lyft have not worked out well for me in the past. So I was very pleased with that, but again, that was a few different days of trying to explore all the different options, using Google, using Disneyland websites that people set up with all sorts of advice and hints. The web is your friend when you're planning something like this. And I have used several websites. I've used the Disneyland Reddit extensively. I've done some things on Mice Chat. I've done some things on a couple of the other Disney websites. WDW Today is one that I'm on fairly often. And asked questions and talked to people and tried to make sure I had all of my information. That also included on the Disneyland website itself and checking the park hours and the days and what days the Oogie Boogie party was and trying to make sure all of this was scheduled. It also meant a lot of talking with family. We've got family that live in the area, and a couple of them are going to come join us for a couple days. And so we've been coordinating their schedules with our schedules. We're going to be doing this on this day and that day. We'll be at the Oogie Boogie on Thursday night, and then we'll be going over here on Friday. And Saturday's the meet and greet. Yes, Saturday, October 5th, the meet and greet. Don't forget it if you're in the area. And we've got that afternoon free. What are we going to do? Who's going to be with us? So a lot of coordinating. Basically 7, 8 different people trying to make sure we've got all that. Plus, there's some other people I'm hoping to meet at the parks, too, so trying to coordinate those schedules. There's been a lot of time and communication with different people to make sure we've got everything all set. Even preparing our costumes. Oogie Boogie, of course, is a costume party. And so we've been trying to make sure we have all that prepped. And our group has a theme that we're going with, and my sister's not meeting theme. You'll see. I'll give her a bad time about that. But we've all got a group theme that we're working with and trying to make sure our costumes are all together. And I literally just got the last thing for my outfit yesterday. Whew! So it's finally ready. But then taking all of these reservations and everything else and printing them off. Yes, I have them also on my phone. I've got apps on the phone for Disneyland, for the shuttle bus service, for Delta Airlines that we're flying with. And for anything else that we need, I've got the apps for it. But just in case, because you never know when cell phone networks go down, Disney apps decide to quit on you, because they do that fairly often, you make sure you've got paper copies. This is one of the reasons. These tickets are actually all entered into the Disneyland app. So I've got all of our Oogie Boogie tickets, and I've got all of our 5-day park hopper with Max Pass on them. They're all entered into the app. We should be able to just walk up, scan the phones, and walk in. But just in case, we've got the paper copies. And then in this folder, which this will actually fit beautifully in my backpack with all my camera gear, that's a whole nother prep thing, which I'll show you in the packing video. But I have all of our hotel reservations, the shuttle reservations, and it's actually organized essentially in order. So on the one side, we've got our hotel at the airport, because we're driving up to the Kansas City airport the night before. Flight leaves out of Kansas City at 7 a.m. and it's a 3.5-hour drive from my home. I don't want to be leaving at 1 in the morning to get to the airport on time. I want to sleep. So we're staying at the hotel that's right by the airport there. So that's got our hotel reservations in it. And then just kind of going in order, the hotel reservations, then the plane reservations, and then the shuttle bus reservations, and then our Oogie Boogie the hotel reservation for California's in there. Then our paper copy Oogie Boogie tickets, which we printed off. The shuttle reservation for the way home. Another hotel in Kansas City when we get home, because we're landing at 11:45 at night on the day we come back. Ooh, we can start driving home at 12:30 in the morning? Yeah, 3.5 hours. No, not going to do that. So we'll stay the night up there again and get some extra sleep. So that is all in this. This is like the backup emergency folder. Copies of everything that we might have, that if my phone were to completely die, I've still got all of this stuff with us. So we're in good shape that way. We've also gone out and done other preparation. If you saw my video yesterday, it was all about the pins I'm taking. I love pins. Well, I've got my pins set up in such a way that I've got a couple extras, but I've actually found this nice little box. Would you believe this was an old cell phone box? And this way I can actually fit this into my camera bag as a little box, and I have all of my pins I'm taking to trade right there. So all my little loose traders are right down here. But then the ones that are on cards and a couple of the more valuable ones I might want to try to give to traders, I've got right here. They're ready to go for the pin traders in Frontier City if I run into them or if I meet them on Sunday. So I'm good to go there, but these aren't the only pins I am taking. Because they're the pin traders, I wanted to bring along a few other special pins. You may have seen me post some of these for sale, and I will still sell them if you buy them like today, because there's not that much time left for me to get them shipped. But I do have a few more, and what I've actually done, these are old pins from 2000 to 2003 that a friend of mine bought at Disneyland. His mother-in-law bought them at Disneyland and Tokyo Disneyland, and they got passed on to me. And I've actually got them on essentially a washcloth. And what I've done is I've wrapped them up here, and I've used bubble wrap to help hold them in place. So that way, they don't fall off, they don't rub, they don't get damaged. And then if I'm going to meet with those pin traders, I've got these pins ready to go, nice and safe and preserved, and not having to worry about them getting damaged or anything. So just a small little way to try to keep them safe for the trip. We've also gone out and we've bought some food and snacks for the trip. Of course, you've got the plane flight, and so I've got my pistachio nuts. Gotta have the pistachios for the trip. My daughter, if you've seen several of our videos, she has some stomach and digestion issues and everything. Well, we found that these are absolutely fantastic for her. So we've got a couple boxes of these super fiber nutrition cookies that she eats, and we'll be able to have those available. Our hotel does not serve breakfast like a lot of them do. And that's actually okay with me, because a lot of the hotel breakfasts, you've got the instant eggs, powdered eggs, and some pre-fried meat and stuff. I don't generally eat those. I'll eat it if I need to. Instead, we get grab-and-go bags, which have a bottle of water and a granola bar and some fruit and some crackers and some things like that, which that works great for me. Grab that, take it into the park, you've got snacks to go. We've got a couple other snacks that we're bringing as well, but breakfast, I've got some small bags of cereal, and then we've got instant oatmeal. All you have to do is use your coffee maker in the room, take along some styrofoam bowls, and you've got breakfast in a hurry. One other thing that we prepped for that a lot of people forget, the footwear. We actually went out and bought new shoes. Yes, Skechers, memory foam, good stuff. And so I'm breaking those in with a few days to go, because it's going to be a lot of walking. Each of the three of us, me and both of my kids, have brand new walking shoes instead of our old, ratty, worn-out ones that were just shot, to help keep our feet preserved and comfortable, and so that way at the end of the day, when we've walked 7-8 miles, we're not dying from it. So that's prepping for the trip, but there's also other things I have to do on the home front. My wife's staying home with the animals that have been running around, and she's working full-time as a teacher and doing a lot of other stuff, so it's a little overwhelming. So we made sure that we've got somebody else coming over to the house to stay with the animals and help her out. She's very appreciative of my mother, who doesn't live too far away, so she'll have somebody here to help. I've got to make sure that there's food at home for her, because I am the shopper and the cook. And so I've got all that taken care of. There's animal food stocked up, so the animals are all taken care of. So that way I can go on this trip and know that my wife is in good shape and she's not going to have to worry about going shopping for anything. And of course, if I mentioned that I'm a pastor, I had to line up somebody else to speak at my church to make sure I've got somebody covering that. Because, you know, if you go to church and there's no pastor and nobody speaking, it's going to be kind of awkward. So that's one of those things a lot of people don't think about. You know, yeah, you go to your job, you just request vacation. But when you're essentially the man, the boss, you got to kind of make sure it's covered. You can't just go take off. Arranging for guest speakers and the music, and even somebody sitting on our computer to run it, because my son is usually the one who does that. And he's going to be in Disneyland with me. So we're going to make sure that all of these different little things are taken care of and covered while we're gone. And then there's the channel too. With me being gone for over a week, that's actually time I would usually be spending to film and edit and produce videos. And I'm not going to be there. So I'm actually doing extra videos. Yes, the videos you're going to see on the Tuesday and the Thursday while I'm at Disneyland are actually getting produced this week, finished. So by the time you're actually seeing this, they're pretty much done already and already uploaded and ready to go, so they will publish while I'm at Disneyland, and I don't have to worry about that, because that's a lot of work when you're on the road. And that way I can just focus on the trip and have fun while filming all of our stuff going on there. That's a lot of preparation! Yeah, don't you wish for the days when it was nice and easy? At least with Disneyland, I'm not having to book fast passes early. The dining reservations you can book within 2 weeks to 2 months, as opposed to 6 months out with Disney World. And so it is much easier as far as advanced prep, but it's still a lot. So what do you do to get ready for a trip to Disneyland? I'd love to hear. What preparation things have I not mentioned that you take care of? Share it below in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to hit like and share the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much to all my patrons for supporting me. Y'all are awesome. If you want to know more about Patreon or buying merchandise or what equipment I use or my fan pages or all sorts of other stuff, check the description. There's a ton of info down there. Thank you so very much for watching, and God bless. If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much, and God bless.